Hi, this is Paul from the Tech Model channel with regards to an update on my Tamiya 1/16 Tiger, and I've got a little bit further up now, as I said, and well, I haven't said because I've just started talking. Silly me. Anyway, so what have I done on this Tiger? I've actually done the brackets now that I was talking about the other day. These are the toe cable brackets for the front, where the kit comes out, it comes into and drops into place. They are movable. Don't know whether you can see that or not. You might just be able to see it, but anyway, but they are movable, so I can actually put it in after the vehicle's painted. Same here. These are done. These little clips here are movable, and the actual metal plate that goes across is in a little circular tray over there, ready to be painted, put on there when it gets painted, and then removed for actually adding the actual bits and pieces in there, which are the barrel cleaning rods and also the toe cable that goes in either side of them. And I'm just going to show you now the cleaning rods, and I'll put them in here now. Let's oops, there you go. If I do them like there you go. There they are. They don't look too much at the moment because they need a bit more paint in the wood, but they are actually real wood. They're actually cocktail sticks. They seem to be the best solution for this, because the rods they give you are way too fat to do the job. And if I had a wood turning machine, I might have been able to do something with them, but I decided to go with that, and I cut them down and made them fit perfectly, so that was okay. And they do actually look better, but once they've had a bit more paint on, more of a ready look, they look really nice. Right. Also, now done these, like I said. Also, you can see I've just done the Mr. Servicer all over, even underneath here as well, all around the turret where it's meant to be, top surface around the sides, all the way around, and also on the actual whole top. And also, I've done some Mr. Surface underneath, a little bit underneath the front and the back where it should be. So it's got all Mr. Surfacer everywhere where it should be, including along this, like I said, as well. I've actually sprayed undercoat primer red underneath the vehicle, and I've sprayed any overspray I've done underneath this up here as well, which is going to be sprayed anyway. But basically it gives you a bit of pre-shadowing underneath there as well. So I've got that done. I've got 8 more clamps to do. Well, 4 of them are clamps and 3 of them are catches. Basically for the actual turret bins, because the bins hatches open and close. So I will be making the catches that go on the front, 2 on either bin lid, to actually hold it in place. So that's okay. Inside the bin, I've actually sprayed in there with Vallejo steel colour, which gives me that bonus thing. It'd been dark in there but metallized, because they wouldn't have sprayed anything in there in the colour. They'd have just left the metal colour, or whatever colour it was. It would have been a bit lighter pressed steel perhaps, or something, or light tin, but I decided to put the polished steel in there. It just makes a difference. I'm going to fill the bin with some cloths and bits and pieces, and a few helmets and stuff and bits that will go in there, so that they've actually got, I must probably put 5 in there, 5 helmets if I can find them in 1/16 scale, just to put them in there so they fills it up. Also, I'll be putting my headlights in there again, these little headlights, once I've done the extra details on them. The reason I'm doing that is basically the vehicle on the front. I've looked at Otakaris's photographs I've got 2 or 3 photographs I've actually got saved to my computer. In these lamps are missing, and what it is, and I've looked, and then I decided, well, I better have a look at some other Tigers in service, and I found that in this period of time, and even in the later ones, you'll look at photographs and you'll see the lights are actually missing. And what is inside here is a 4-pin plug. I think it's 4, but I'm going to check. It could be 5 or 4. 4-pin plug in both those lights, and headlights would have them as well. So when they weren't being used, or them going into operations, if they had time to do it, unless it was an emergency, they're whipped out, put into the bin at the back most probably, or even taken into the vehicle for storage. But they would actually be taken out, and so they couldn't be damaged. So that's what I've learnt. So that's quite good. And his photograph of his vehicle has got that as well. Also, the tow cable on the opposite side, on the actual gunner's side, hangs over the side and droops over slightly. It's hanging sort of precariously, but it's there, and that's actually going across uneven ground. So I'll be replicating that on my Tiger as well. So that's that bit for Otakaris's. So I've got 4 clips, and I've got the 2 clamps, same as these 2 here, back here, one there, and the same on the other side for the tow cable to actually be in place. All the catches along the side now are actually done. I'm not going to put the cable in, so I've decided to give that a miss, because I saw a photograph where it wasn't there and the clips were there. So I've decided, and that was Otakaris's vehicle again, and it wasn't there. So what I could do is make that cable and have it coiled up and laying sort of somewhere, or just not bother putting it on the vehicle, because it was actually, I think they was doing a bit of training when they was using the vehicle in a position I actually saw it. I'll put that back now. There you go. What else? Excuse me, have I done? that's it really. So I primed it, done all the Mr. Surfaces. So I've got those 4 catches to make at the back, clamps for the clapping, and the actual lid clamps. Then after that, all I've got to do now, photo etch wise now, is actually do inside these hatches. And so basically they will be there, and have the periscopes done, and a couple of extra photo etch bits to go on each one. Also a bit of photo etch on top of here, a bit of metal bar in there, which was a targeting bar on the front of the turret, and also some photo etch inside this one here. Obviously when I close the lid up, it's not going to be seen, but I'm going to put the basics in there. I was going to put the periscopes in there. I'm not sure yet whether I will sit there and do that, or just leave it, because my hatch will, when it's open, I've painted it black all inside, as you might be able to see. It's all dark in there. I've done the whole thing black anyway, and the lid will be down, so I'll be doing all the photo etch that's visible and anything that's on the hatch when it comes up. And to be quite honest, when I look at photographs, of the Tiger as hatch, that hatch is pretty good in itself. It just means a few more little photo etch things on it, and it'll look the part anyway with how open. So there you go. So that is it really. So this coming week I'm going to be trying to make, no, it should be finished by the end of it. I've already told Richard this, or Switcher I should say, and I've actually got the bits to do. So once I've done that, then I can start giving it a bit of coat of paint. And the first thing I will be doing is going around and doing a bit of pre-shading for this vehicle, because it is a large vehicle, and if I just do it a bland colour of Dungle Geb, it won't work very well. So what I'm going to do is to do some pre-shading. Then I'm going to go in with the lighter shades of Dungle Geb, because I've got 2 or 3 shades of it to do round in different places to actually give it a bit of tonality difference, so it looks slightly different, and then a bit of weathering off obviously as well. So there you go. So that's what I've got. I might be able to go and do a couple of extra close-ups for you. I don't know if this is going to work. It's on if I put it on automatic focus, and if I go in, you might be able to see a little bit of what I'm talking about. There you go. So if I get that, oh, it has done that. I think it's focused. Yeah, it has. So these are the catches. I had to make these catches here. Oops, that's good. Oh, I'll say this one, because this one is 3 down there, 1 there, and 1 over here. You can see. You can see the white, and basically that's the white that's actually. And I think you can actually see the actual texturing along the turret I've managed to get as well on this actual video. So that's good. Right, but what I've actually done is I had to do. I don't know if I can get this. This might work. Yeah, I had to make. This is a test one I did to see if it works. This is not a perfect one of it, but that is a test one, and that is how small it is there. I had to make that drill, get a bit of plastic, cut it to the size I needed using the original photo etch parts to get the size. Drill 2 holes and then cut. This was a failure one, so it was okay, but it gives you an idea how I had to do it. And then I had to make 5 to actually do that. And then I used a photo etch metal plate that rubs across the top that holds a retaining flap on the actual bit. And then I actually put the base plate on, which was photo etch, and then actually a pin coming, drilling a hole in the top of this, the thickest side, putting the pin in there to actually be the retaining bit with the butterfly nut on it. And I don't know whether this is going to work. I'm just going to do a quick bit to show you. I might be able to get this one to work. Who knows? There we go. Now I think you might just be able to see. It doesn't want to focus, does it? It might be because it's on focus. If I go right out, I think you can see all underneath what I've done. That's the pre-shading I did with the actual red primer. I've gone down here, and let's see if I can get this a better view now, because sometimes when you're focused in it, there you go. I think you can see the butterfly nut on it. There you go. There's the other ones. And there is my turret hatches. There you go. But they're actually made out of plastic cards, and they've got the little rim round the inside. So that's as much as I'm going to do by hand holding, because I'm going to have to design something to give me a bit more flexibility for that. But there you go. So here we go, and I'll turn the turret around, because with the hatches open you can actually rotate the turret at its full elevation. And there's the rusted bits. I've done a little bit more rust on them, and so if I come down a bit lower you'll see what I mean. Done a bit more rust on there, so that's looking quite nice. And you can just about see the original Dungle Geb coming through slightly a bit, but it's actually rusting from underneath, and it's just left a bit of paint there. And I might dab a little bit more of that when I painted the vehicle, but I will have to put some paper around this, so when I spray the vehicle it won't actually affect my rust effect on the actual thing. I could have actually left them all off and then put it on afterwards, but I decided it'd be easier to put it in situ and I wouldn't lose them as well. So I think you can see what I mean. So there you go. So if I bring that back up again and drop this down, it's not going to go any lower anyway, so there you go, and put this back that way. No, it's not going to go. Anyway, I think that's it really. Come a bit further back, might be okay. There you go. If I drop it back a bit more, that might be out back. But there you go. So that's where I've got so far. You can see the wheels are off again and they're over the other side. They've already been weathered individually anyway, so when I start painting I should be painting them. They've already got a base colour I've done with anyway, but the weathering on them will be light and dusty as well. So don't worry about the red on here. Basically that's primer, and I didn't care because I know I'm going to be painting it all again. And they're actually screwed on, they're actually fixed permanently in place because they could be. The tracks have actually received a coat of Tamiya XF84, which is the dark iron colour. Fantastic colour for tracks. I really like that. And as old Steve Mottram would say, my go-to colour for tracks. And I know it's switches as well. So there you go. So things are coming along nicely, and I'm not far off my painting stage. All I've got to do now is basically do the clamps for the tow cable at the back, build those up out of Photo-etch, and then do the Photo-etch for the clamps, the catches on the bin covers, and leave them workable so they can actually be so it can be left so you can lift it up and open it up. And that'll be it. I can drop that down now. There you go. She goes down nice and up. So it's nice and tight move on that. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. And that is the progress on my Tiger so far. And I'll catch you on the next one. So happy modelling. Bye.